Okay, so hello. I'm Cherry Mocha, and this is my friend and roommate, Fressa Pastry.
Yeah, that's me.
And so today we are doing a segment I like to call, what is it called again? Oh, the OC Approval Squad, which is us. And what that means is, so we're reading fan fictions and where there is like an OC, and we will tell you if we approve of the OC or not. So how this is gonna go, we're just gonna talk about the OC, talk about the story, and at the end of this video, they will get a yay or nay. Thumbs up, thumbs down. So, also disclaimer or whatever, caution, this is not from a place of hate. If you watch this video and it turns out this OC is yours, that we don't mean we hate you or your OC. This is just this from a critical standpoint.
Yeah, this is like constructive criticism. We're trying to point out why
it doesn't work.
Don't like this.
Right. We're writers too. We write fan fiction. So this is not a place of hate. So if you leave a hate comment, it will be ignored. So, all right. So let's talk about the story.
Oh, and then in an effort to like respect the wishes of the writers, we're not gonna say their usernames or the title of their stories.
Yeah, so this we're gonna title this one HeHe I'm Mirra, because and so that's the name of the story for all intents and purposes of this video. So let's start talking about HeHe I'm Mirra.
Okay, so this is a Teen Titans fanfic in which apparently it's a romantic story with Speedy and an OC, of course. I don't even know what to say. Like, how do you start?
Okay,
so in the beginning of the story, we have Starfire like, yay, Titans East arrived or whatever, and her and Robin are dating, and apparently this OC, I guess this is from the first person perspective of the OC, and apparently this OC has an issue with Robin because apparently he doesn't like her. But it's kind of like, why?
Yeah, he's like vile. His voice, he says things in a vile tone, but she never tells us why he does.
And it's like, what's the point of him disliking her? Like, it has no place in the story at all. Like, it doesn't further the plot. It doesn't develop any character points or anything. And we'll see later that it's kind of clear that the author made Robin dislike her for whatever reason in an attempt to contrast his personality with Speedy's, but at the same time it's like that had no purpose either. Like, I don't even know how to explain. It just had no,
it was just there for the sake of being there almost.
Yeah, and
it felt really awkward to read those parts. Like, she would be doing something and all of a sudden Robin would give her a awful look, but it meant we don't know why.
Yeah, like here it says, go on, it wasn't a sneer. I could tell he was trying to help me expand my small boundaries, but his voice, it just had something vile in it. What are you talking about? What do you mean it has something vile in it? All he said was go on. And he didn't do anything else.
And then later, it never builds on that. It never gives a reason why this is. You know, at first maybe it's like she's trying to bring about this like mysterious quality. Like, like what's going on? Oh my God. But you never figure out why. It's just there.
Yeah, it's just there. And so then we get to the namesake scene of this story in which she meets Titans East and she says, HeHe ...
I'm Mirra. HeHe I'm Mirra.
Disgusting. And she said, it says, I said awkwardly, rubbing the back of my neck. Can you all like picture this? She's like, HeHe
I'm Mirra.
And it just sounds stupid and awkward, and it sounds disgusting. And oh my God. And so, which is already weird. Like, if you meet someone and they say that, it's like, are you normal? Like, why are you saying this?
It's that almost sounds like she has self-esteem issues. Like, she doesn't know how to meet people. She's like, HeHe I'm Mirra.
Yeah, like she was like anxiety or something.
Right.
Which would be fine if, you know, she had established anxiety or something in this story. And then we get to the part where she meets Bumblebee. And Bumblebee does this weird thing where she like wraps her arms around the OC and she's spinning her around and she's like, quote, thank the Lord you're going to join. I don't think I could handle living with boys any longer. I'm Bumblebee, by the way, but call me B, end quote. And all while she's doing this, she whispered this in her ear as she's spinning her around in a circle, and then she stops, and it's just disgusting because it's like, why is she doing this? Honestly, when I read this part, I thought I had to go back because I actually thought that Starfire was the one spinning her around, because I feel like if anyone was going to do that, it would be Starfire, not Bumblebee. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it just sounds really gross. Oh, and then Mas y Minos. You want to talk about them?
Yeah. So Mas and Minos show up, and they
speak English.
They said, "We're Mas and Minos, too bonita."
Why are they speaking English? And two, if they're gonna speak English, why not speak only English?
Exactly. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it'd be one thing if, because in the TV show they established that they only speak Spanish, and it'd be one thing if the author had it established that Mas and Minos, you know, they've been here for a while now, so maybe they know more English than they did before, which would make sense. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But it was weird because they just said, "We're Mas and Minos," and then they proceeded to continue speaking Spanish, and then in proper Spanish too, like,
two bonitas. You don't even, there's no article. There's no article in that sentence. It's supposed to be two es bonita.
Too bonita. And, okay. So what happened after that? Oh god. And so Speedy shows up. This is where it gets really awful.
This is where it gets terrible. So he pets her, when he shows up, he pets her on the head. What does it say when it describes him? An obviously spontaneous redhead.
Oh yes, it says, "Next, a clearly spontaneous redhead walked up to me and ruffled my hair. I'm Speedy." Okay.
But how is he clearly spontaneous when you just met him? Like, I concluded that this was a misplaced modifier. She meant to say that him petting her on the head or whatever was clearly spontaneous, not him.
There's no way that you can know that he was that he's a spontaneous person because he petted you on the head. Because for all you know, he could have been playing that for weeks. He could have said, "When I meet this new girl or whoever,
I'm gonna pet her on the head.
I'm gonna ruffle her hair." No, but
and also, why would he fucking rub her hair when he just met her?
Yeah, I don't like the way because they do this a lot in these fan fiction stories where Speedy is supposed to be
the love interest.
Yeah, we're the love interest, and he's overly touchy-feely.
Like when they first meet.
Yeah,
like
and it's like,
day.
I feel like he's very much that charismatic, sort of outgoing character, but not in a way that he would touch you and hug you and all this weird stuff. Ugh. Like, I've read stories where he's done things that if it was me, I would feel uncomfortable and I'd probably leave the tower. I'd be like, "Yep, no, I can't be on this team. Bye." And so, and this is where it's just kind of funny here. The description of his uniform, it says, it says, he said, smiling beneath his dark mask, almost identical to Robin's, but he was way nicer than Robin. Almost opposite, if you catch my drift. And see, that's where it comes in, where it's clear that she made Robin kind of an asshole for how, I don't know. But she made him that way to contrast Speedy, who's really nice or something. But why?
At the same time, why? She's still, even in this description, she doesn't give a reason.
Exactly.
Like, if you catch my drift, we don't. Because we don't know anything about Robin at this point. At this point, Robin's a completely different character, and we need your help, dear awesome writer, to tell us why he's terrible.
Exactly.
As opposed to him having something vile in his voice, you know?
There was no plot development to help us understand why he's talking to you in a vile way. Like, why doesn't he like you? We don't know.
And we never get that by the end of the story.
Yeah. So it says, anyways, he had perfectly combed red hair and a red tank top with matching red pants, yellow boots that were the same color as the arrow box that hung from his back, in the same...
Pause. Arrow box is called a quiver. You could have Googled it.
Yeah, you could have Googled that.
Because arrow box, to me, arrow box, I'm thinking of a literal box. like a trunk.
Arrow.
Yeah. And you open it and there's arrows in it.
It doesn't sound right.
An arrow box.
It sounds wrong, and like when I was reading this, it actually made me stop, and I was kind of like, it stopped my flow of reading. I was like, arrow box. Like, I knew what she meant, but it sounded gross. But, you know, that's excusable.
I didn't know what she meant.
Okay, yeah. She didn't know what she meant. But I guess if I'm excusing things, that's excusable.
Quiver.
It's fine. But as I continue, it says, yellow boots that were the same color as the arrow box that hung from his back, and the same yellow that decorated the S on his right bicep.
Bicep. This is your bicep.
If y'all know what Speedy looks like, he has the symbol, like the S symbol, on his right pectoral, not his right bicep. Like the same way that Robin has the R on his chest, not his not his bicep. Doesn't make sense. Exactly. It sounds crazy.
So clearly this writer doesn't know
body
parts.
It just doesn't matter. But the description of his outfit's disgusting. A red tank top. That sounds gross.
Does he wear a red tank top?
His outfit, it's like a mock neck, goes up to about here, kind of where this choker is, like that. And then it's sleeveless. It's not a tank top. It's a sleeveless uniform. Like, it just sounds gross. Because what I pictured is, like, you know what those guys wear? Like, those guys when they're at the beach, and it's kind of like, the dip is like that, and it's like this casual tank top. That's what I pictured on top of red pants.
Ugly.
It doesn't sound right. Because, like, I feel like when you describe these superhero uniforms, you need to make sure that you're describing it in terms of this is a uniform, not this outfit, this casual outfit. Because a red tank top and red pants sounds disgusting. With yellow boots.
Nasty.
It sounds gross. It just sounds disgusting.
Fashion experts.
Yeah. And so, okay. What else is there?
Did we talk about nobody liked her?
Oh yeah, we should totally go back up to that.
So this is where we really dissect the OC and not the story. So basically when this OC showed up, she was escorted by all of the Teen Titans.
Yeah, the entirety of Titans East came from Steel City, which is on the east coast of the United States, all the way to Jump City, which is in California, the west coast of the United States. And I was talking to someone else, and they were like,
why would they leave?
Why would they just left Steel City to come get you? Is there nothing happening in Steel City? Is no one gonna commit a crime while they're gone? You telling me the whole team left
to escort this person that we don't know their purpose.
We don't know their abilities. Like, what can they do?
Yeah, why are they important? Why do they need a whole escort squad? To me, that means that they are that somebody dangerous is after them and that they can't protect themselves. So, and at that point, why is she joining the Titans West or whatever?
Exactly. Why is she leaving Titans West? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. She does answer that question. She says, where is it? Damn. I apologize. She said, it's really sad to admit, but it's not like I was going to miss Jump City. The place was crawling with villains, sure, but it wasn't my style. I liked it creepy, like the haunting streets of Steel City. Okay. Clearly, this is an effort. Are you Snapchatting?
Yes. Sorry.
Clearly, in an effort by the author to make this OC sound like edgy and cool and like she's interesting and not like the other girls, I don't know, whatever. She's like, I liked it creepy, like the haunting streets of Steel City. First of all, maybe it's just me. I don't feel like Steel City is haunting. I feel like it's, like they say in the show, it's industrial and it's cold and it's kind of rotting, but if you want creepy and haunting, why don't you go to Gotham City?
Right. This is all an attempt for the OC to seem cool and edgy, but all it really did was seem very lame, very what's it called, trying. She's so trying at this point.
And so back to the point that we were saying before about like you said, do they even like her? Because at this point it says she's about to get on the T-ship, whatever, the thing that Titans East, what they rode in all the way over here from Steel City. It says, I guess I had a clueless look. Oh, wait, no, this is where she says that Robin is being mean again. And yet again, something in Robin's voice made me uncomfortable. It sounded like nails on a chalkboard to me. Okay, why?
But what did he say?
Exactly, he didn't say
She doesn't give
anything.
you what he said. She doesn't give you what he said. And it sounds confusing. What's going on?
He actually said nothing at all. Like, if you guys read this, there was no dialogue at all for her to give a context for what he said that made her feel uncomfortable.
Aw, Kevin is so cute.
Okay.
He's so adorable.
She says, damn.
I made you lose your train of thought.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Fine, it's fine. Oh. It says, I guess I had a clueless look on my face because Speedy called me out on it on the WAP to the T ship question mark, or would it be the TE ship? Never mind. Everything okay? Better than okay. I lied.
Wait, did she put that in there?
The what?
TE ship?
Yeah, the TE ship question mark. Never mind.
First of all, I have a problem with this. Do not do this when you write a story, because not only does it break the fourth wall,
and then not even in a funny way.
Yeah, it makes you sound terrible. Like, if she would have just said T ship or TE ship, either one, without questioning it, it could have been easily passed, like whatever, or somebody would have just corrected it for her, like in the review or whatever. They would have just been like, oh, it's actually T ship or whatever.
Yeah.
But for her to put it here, I just feel like it's very disgusting.
It sounds like another attempt for the author to insert themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that to an extent, but it's like. But to an extent, what I'm saying is, like, it's fine for your character to have qualities of yourself, but this it just seems like an attempt to make the character seem quirky and, like, not perfect, and it's like, this is not...
It's just an awkward situation. I don't want to know the OC. I feel like that's the point. We don't want to know your OC.
Yeah.
Your OC
should be vague enough for you to insert yourself, but not so vague that she's... like, lame.
Like this bland person?
Yeah, like another story that we will talk about eventually. So she says everything, or no, I guess Speedy says this. It's very unclear because the grammar and punctuation in the story is very poorly done, like a lot of these fan fictions. And so it's kind of hard to tell who's talking. You kind of have to figure it out for yourself. So anyway, it says, I guess Speedy says, everything okay? And then I guess she says, better than okay. I lied, pushing my brown hair from my face, deciding in my head it was going to be a long day. My heavy suitcase dragged behind me.
They let her drag her own suitcase. Are we going to talk about that?
They didn't help her. There's how many people? There's like 11 people here.
Exactly. And then add that on the top that Robin obviously doesn't like her for some reason. So they're just like, yeah, maybe the whole team didn't like her because they just let her drag her suitcase.
There's 10 other people here. They could have helped her. And see, because the way I'm picturing it...
They let her drag her suitcase.
Yeah, the way I'm picturing is that Titans East is sitting in their TE ship, whatever, waiting for her to drag her bag into the ship. They didn't help her or nothing. Speedy said, everything okay? Not, can I help you with your bags? And then, what'd you say about Cyborg?
I said Cyborg would have helped you. He's so gentleman. Like, he must have did not like you because Cyborg would have been the one, hey, let me help you out. Exactly. And then just pick up your damn suitcase and just, take it to the next, wherever it needs to go. But since they're all... Starfire would have helped. Beast Boy would have helped.
Raven probably not. She probably would not have helped, but if she really saw that you were struggling, she probably would have been like, levitation in the ship, done.
But nobody helped her. Why not? Because she said, HeHe I'm Mirra. That's why.
Because we were talking about how they probably didn't like her anyway. Like
HeHe I'm Mirra.
What
disgusting.
Did you say about how Titans West probably didn't want her, and that's why they're trying to get rid of her ass.
Yeah, they're probably getting rid of her.
Oh, so stupid. And then
I would instantly hate anybody who said, HeHe I'm Mirra.
Oh my god. Okay, so we're nearing the end of this story. It's only one chapter. Like, there's nothing else. There's no continuation or anything.
Sorry.
Okay. And so she gets to, oh wait, no, this stupid part right here. Let me not skip this. So she gets to Titan's East Tower and she's like, first of all, it says she gets inside and she's saying how the view is breathtaking or whatever. And it says Ops overlooked the city.
Incorrect.
Titan's East Tower is at the base of a cliff. The Steel City, like, if this is the cliff and Titan's East Tower is like underneath the cliff, Steel City is up here. You can't, you're overlooking the ocean because it's like the ocean is at the foot of the tower. You can't, and I didn't even notice this part until I was talking to someone else and they pointed out that isn't Titan's East Tower at the foot of a cliff? Yes, it is at the foot of a cliff.
Incorrect.
Dumb. Just dumb. And then this random dialogue, it says, to give you the context of how random this says, what was even more breathtaking was the inside. Ops overlooked the city. The large room had a window from ceiling to floor, just like Titan's West's. Oh, incorrect grammar. Oh, and
Oh.
Oh, and don't touch the drawer in the bottom part of the fridge. Why?
Ew, Speedy's why. But then you don't know who's saying any of this.
You don't know. Like, you have to infer.
It's easy to infer that somebody from Titans East is telling her not to open the bottom drawer in the fridge.
But what's gross is the fact, or stupid is the fact that it didn't say before that she was talking to anyone. Like, it would make sense maybe if she was previously talking to someone and then this dialogue happened, and so you just assume they're still talking to the same person.
Right.
But there's no dialogue at all. And so it says, Speedy's why. The girl shot a warning glare at the archer, making him shrug. Don't look at me. The twins made dinner that night. First of all,
what does that mean?
What girl? Who?
The girl shot a glare. The girl.
Who?
I'm guessing this is Bumblebee?
Yeah, clearly this is supposed to be Bumblebee, but we have to infer, and not even in a good way, that this is Bumblebee speaking.
Right, the girl.
And then it says, and then I guess, yeah, so Speedy says, don't look at me, the twins made dinner that night. What are you talking about?
Is there nasty food down there?
Is there nasty food down there? Like, this whole...
It's very random. Like, there's no point in the dialogue. There's no point in this scene, period.
It was, like, unnecessary humor. Like, I read this thing
and not even good unnecessary humor.
And it wasn't even funny. It
wasn't funny at all.
I read this thing a long time ago about writing, and it was saying if it does not progress the plot or the development of a character, do not put it in the story. Don't do it. Because it's a waste of space. It's just, it shouldn't be there. If it's not contributing to the story, don't put it there. This is not contributing to the story at all. Like, I'm sure this was an attempt to put some humor into the story, which is fine, because, yeah, it's nice to have humor in a story. But this is random, and it doesn't make sense. What do you mean? What do you mean, don't touch the drawer in the bottom part of the fridge? Why don't you just toss that food out, apparently, if that's what it is? Why? Speedy's why.
They just wanted to put something there. Like, I guess to show team dynamic.
Yeah, but like, now that I didn't even think about this before, but it says Speedy's why. But then Speedy says, don't look at me, the twins made dinner that night. So if it's the twins who made dinner that night, why does Speedy have anything to do with it being in the bottom drawer?
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
Maybe he put it in the drawer.
But it doesn't matter. It's stupid. So anyway, moving on to the last little segment of this story. She's getting unpacked or whatever, and it doesn't matter. And it says a random knock. Around 6-ish, there was a random knock on my door. And so she goes to answer it. And she's like, oh, hello, Speedy. And Speedy says, B told me I had to do something. ... So I was wondering if you wanted a tour. First of all,
why is B ordering him around to do nothing, basically?
It's like, because you know how with children, adults will say, you need to go do something. Like, you need to watch a cartoon show, you need to play with your toys, or go outside or something. Because children, a lot of the time, are not to themselves. Like, they're in your business, you can't get done what you need to get done. You're telling me Speedy is acting like a child and he's bothering her? He's probably like 15, 16, 17 in the story. You're telling me that he's bothering her? He's probably doing his own thing. If anything, he probably is doing his own thing, because at least in the TV show, the way he's depicted would seem like he, if anything, is not doing what she wants in the way that he's doing his own thing, and she's like, hey, help with this, and he's like, whatever. But it's just stupid, because she's as if he's a child and not a teenage boy. And I know this is like an attempt to do the whole be Speedy sort of. Right. They have this little quarrel, which is fine, because it's clear that it's kind of a thing because of the show and the way that they have that relationship, because of how in that one episode when she said he had his foot on this thing, metal contraption, and she says that's a supercomputer, not a footstool, and then Speed's like, thanks, Mom, or something like that, which makes sense for why people writing these fan fictions would have this sort of narrative about her momming him, like mothering him, which is fine, but this just was kind of a poor attempt to throw that into the story, because what do you mean she told you to go do something? Okay.
Right.
And so she says, so he says, he's asking if she wants a tour. He said sheepishly, pushing hair away from his eyes.
Wait, she?
No, Speedy is sheepishly pushing hair away from his eyes. First of all,
Why would he be sheepish?
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, this is kind of a personal thing. I don't like it when Speedy is sheepish in these stories because he's not
shy.
Yeah, I don't because he's not shy. Like he's very much a womanizer. Like he's not. He's suave. He's cool. He's sexy. Like he's not gonna be sheepish because he met this girl. As if he's never been in this kind of situation before. Like even if she's like no girl he's ever met before, I don't think that he would be sheepish. I feel like he might feel some type of way in himself. He might be kind of nervous, but I don't think it would be clearly evident that he's, feeling some type of way about her because he's very suave. Like, he's not a dope. He's really not. So it doesn't make sense for him to be sheepish. But I mean, fine. You want him to be sheepish with this character or whatever. The only reason I don't like it is because it's overdone and he's always sheepish. Right. Always with these characters who have no personality. So why is he being sheepish with this girl? And there's no development for him to like her anyway.
Right.
Nothing happened.
And it's just another one of those cases where the author is putting herself in the story and she's kind of trying to live out her fantasy of having this guy being nervous around her. Mm-hmm. Like, she probably never had that happen before. He likes her so... He's so gosh darn it, like, distracted by her beauty. He can't think straight. He can't ask her for this tour, without being sheepish. It's all fantasy, really. Yeah. She's not really thinking rationally about how the actual character would act. Mm-hmm. She's just kind of concerned with having a boy like her.
Yeah. And so, basically, he says, fish face said he'd come too, so if you're done unpacking...
Fish face. Disgusting.
Disgusting. Of course he's referring to Aqualad, but I hate it when they refer to him as things like fish face. Why would he
does he even say that in the show?
No, he never called him anything except unitard guy or something. Yeah, he called him unitard guy, and
fish face sounds gross.
Yeah. And because all the time in these stories, whenever Speedy says something about Aqualad, it is always fish something, which there's not really... I won't say that's bad... But because I feel like it's corny. Like, sometimes it's funny, but when it's overdone, it's gross. Especially when, this is just personally, I don't like the sound of fish face. It sounds offensive. It sounds, because fish look weird. Like, they just look weird.
Right.
Like, they have fish eyes, and their mouths do that thing, and they just swim around in the ocean. It just sounds crazy. But, like, I've read another story where he is referred to as, like, fish sticks, which I think is kind of silly. Like, it's whatever. Like, I feel like a friend might call you fish sticks. But fish face sounds disgusting. It sounds wet. It sounds gross.
Sounds wet?
It just sounds nasty.
It sounds like they're calling you ugly.
Yeah, and it's not, like, I don't know. I just kind of picture a
you
gross
have a fish face. Right?
Yeah, I picture that fish from SpongeBob that's, you know what I'm talking about? That one that comes in from the side of the screen and it's like...
Yes!
Talking. And I just picture that and it just sounds disgusting. That's just me, though. That's just me.
That's terrible. Oh my goodness.
And so she's like, that sounds fun. I'll be right out. He nodded and I smiled. Everything was going to turn out okay. For now, anyways. End of story. There was no follow-up chapter. There was no epilogue, nothing.
So is this story complete or incomplete?
I'm sure this is...
It's incomplete.
Yeah, I'm sure it's incomplete. It doesn't say complete here. So, and this was from July 22nd, 2014.
So, basically...
yeah.
We don't know what's going on. Like, it's a very good, it's not a very good, it's an introduction chapter. It's definitely, it's not a prologue, but it's definitely, your typical chapter 1. She shows up, she meets whoever she's supposed to be meeting, she's introduced. However, I feel like this introduction is terrible. We still don't know who the main character is. Who is Mirra? We don't know. We get these gross, disgusting descriptions of Titans East and Titans West, if you want to include the lack of description and the weird description of Robin. So it's altogether, in my opinion, it's a terrible beginning, and that's probably why the person stopped, because it's bad.
It's just bad. Like, I feel like there's nothing else really to say, because we told you all the reasons why the story is bad. Like, for you to get the full effect, you'd have to read it yourself, because the grammar's poor. It's hard to see who is saying what.
Yeah, that's probably the most annoying part, is the dialogue. You cannot tell who's speaking, ever, at all. Ever. Like, very rarely is it very clear who's speaking. I don't know why she does that. I'm assuming the author is a girl, because I assume all fanfiction writers are girls, but I don't know, I don't understand why she did what she did.
She thought it was
I feel
good.
like, because in my head, if you read books, if you read books, you know that when you read dialogue, it's always blah, 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 he said, or blah, 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 she muttered on her way to the store. You know who's talking at all times.
And I feel like there's no excuse for poor grammar and punctuation unless English is not your first language.
Or
then
you're like you're in elementary school or something.
But like, assuming that you're between the ages of like 13 and up, there's no excuse for this poor grammar, assuming that the language that you're writing is your first language. Like, I understand maybe if you don't know English that well, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna hold that against you, because if I was writing in Spanish, it'd probably be choppy as fuck.
Choppy and terrible and
missing articles and whatnot. But
I don't know. If this English person was American. This person is English.
Yep.
So, Mirra. Oh, should we do yay or nay, or should we give like a scale of 1 to 5?
You can do scale of 1 to 5. I just don't like it.
5 being really good, 1 being really bad. I will give this like.
I feel like I'm inclined to give it like a 2 or a 3.
I was going to say 1.5.
Really?
Yes, I would.
Well, see, because I'm comparing it to that really bad one.
Which one?
No, the
Rachel,
that one. That's another one that we will do, because it's actually the worst fan fiction I've ever read in my entire life. Like, I thought this was really bad, and I thought the other ones that we're gonna do are bad. No. I read this like last 2 weeks ago maybe, and it was god awful. Like, when I told you the story, was garbage. I mean, I'm not saying that, I don't want to be mean, but it was just so bad. Like, it was just.
And don't worry, we'll dissect it. We're not going to just be like, oh, it's terrible. But we'll dissect the story. So I feel like I give her a 1.5, and you gave her what, like a 3?
Yeah, 2, like a 2, 3.
And so I guess that.
Well, no, that's too much on a scale of 1 to 5. I'm thinking 1 to 10. Yeah, maybe like a 1.5 or a 2.
All right. So to me, it looks like this OC got a nay. It was terrible. Mirra. Also, if she's supposed to be joining the Titans East, why is her name Mirra? Does she not have a superhero name, or is Mirra the superhero name? And if so, why?
Yeah, like, there's no description of like her superhero ability. I guess maybe the author was planning on
doing something, like elaborating more
in a chapter that was coming afterward.
I feel like it should have been done in this chapter.
Yeah, because there was no like not illusion, but there was no vague reference to her powers or anything. Like, honestly, she sounds like a civilian. She sounds like this random ass person.
Right. That's what I was saying. I was like, it would have made more sense if she was like Bumblebee or Speedy's or whoever's cousin, and that's why she needed a whole team to escort her, because she can't protect herself, and she's showing up all nervous. HeHe I'm Mirra.
Oh my God, disgusting.
To me that sounds like she needs protection, and she's coming to live with her cousin because she needs protection.
Like Slade's coming after her.
Yeah, she saw something she shouldn't have seen.
Now she's a target, but no.
Right. So
yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this story. It was only, the single chapter, like we said.
Yes.
This was really long. But yeah, so
I want to say thanks for watching. This was fun, and we'll do this again. We are the OC approval squad. Maybe one day we'll have like superhero outfits.
Oh,
Yes. OC approval squad. And this was HeHe I'm Mirra. Fresa pastry. Cherry mocha. Peace out.